With all the chaos that is going on in the world, you barely hear about good things people do in the world, especially when it comes to black people. I actually watched this documentary last week after the T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle show last Monday. I just wanted to shine a light on this documentary, which I really enjoyed and found it to be very informative, which is the St. Louis Superman, about a black man named Bruce Frank Jr., a St. Louis, Missouri native. I love how it started out showing the father and son relationship of having dialogue about August 9th, which is a special date of the birth of his son, and the death of Mike Brown, and both of them chanting, "We're ready, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready for ya." After the death of Mike Brown, it pushes Bruce Frank Jr. to get up to protest against the violence that black people was facing in the urban community. His passion for justice and his own personal experience to gun violence led him to become a senator in the 78th district at the age 34. I actually remember hearing about Mike Brown's death on the news and always thought it was a tragedy and thought it should have never happened. He serves a district where African Americans make less than whites and have the highest murder rate. Even though Bruce Frank Jr. became a senator, he didn't let that change him, but was still grounded of knowing who he was and where he came from. Because when a lot of black people get into power, they let it go to their head and they forget who they are and where they came from. The documentary captures Bruce Frank Jr.'s personality, how he decorated his office of comic books and figures, as well with the civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. You can tell he was a big comics book fan because he had Black Panther, Superman, Wonder Woman all over his office. The challenge he had to face as a senator was passing a bill that he was passionate about. A standalone bill that declared youth violence as a health epidemic, which were 200 murders, and 51% of the murders were between the ages of 16 to 24 due to the lack of resources. Therefore, to provide funding for resources. Then, the second part of the bill was to declare June 7, Christopher Harris Day, in the remembrance of his brother being killed at the age of 9 of playing outside due to gun violence. As a senator, he faced daily issues explaining to 117 representatives of Republicans on what his community needed and being the bridge between his community and the House of Representatives. The passion that Senator Bruce Frank Jr. had was shown all throughout the documentary of maintaining a relationship with his community. He motivated incarcerated men who was released from prison looking for employment to never give up and to always tell their story because you don't know who you can help. Even though he was a senator, he never gave up his love for battle rapping. I thought Bruce Frank Jr., Superman, and his opponent, Antonio Bone Williams, did an awesome job of battle rapping and made valid points. Mr. Antonio Bones Williams made a valid point. Does Black Lives Matter when the killer ain't even black? Mr. Bruce Frank Jr., Superman, made a valid point of stating, I put 5.5 million funding into the community and the police at the back door and I go protesting right now. Both guys, I was impressed with their rapping. I thought it was dope. I really did. I thought it was dope and I'm glad they put that in the documentary. But for the black on black crime, that's why I thought the gun buyback program was started to lower the violence that was happening in the communities. And also, there was a no gun violence campaign to stop the violence of urban communities killing one another. Me hearing Mr. Frank tell his story about all the 167 funerals he attended and the nightmare he had of remembering each one of every detail like it was yesterday. I could relate about what he is talking about. It broke my heart when he told his story to his children how his 9-year-old brother got used as a bulletproof vest because of two cowards using gun violence. This is why I don't believe in guns, because it's always the innocent ones that pay the price. I like how they show the mother and son relationship of Earlene Banks and Bruce Frank Jr., and how people expressed to her if she had any concerns about the safety of her son, and the son tells her that he ain't scared, Mom. Also, how she prayed over her children and her family, which just remind me of my mom. I thought King Frank was a funny little kid when he was always talking about his age, when he stated, I could do it because I'm 7. And the grandmother was like, you ain't 7. I was like, that just really cracked me up. It really did. Bruce Frank Jr. mother is the definition of black don't crack, because she didn't look old to me at all, but looked it young. The St. Louis Superman resigned from office due to suffering anxiety and depression from the killing of his best friend Sylvester and his godson Garion because of gun violence. I get why he resigned, because it took a toll on him, because it's like, I'm trying to do good in the world and people who I love the most keep dying of gun violence. Bruce Frank Jr. should be very proud of himself because he was able to get the bill passed that declares youth violence as a health epidemic to receive resources for funding. And remembrance of his brother, June 7th, is Christopher Harris Day in Missouri, including a statue of his brother. I believe St. Louis Superman made a great accomplishments that you can't take away from him for what he has done. I love how King Frank, the son, led the protest with the chanting, I believe, we will win. I believe, we will win. As we get older, our confidence begins to get lost during the difficult challenges that we face in this world. But just remember the confidence of that little boy King in that video. We believe, we will win to make a difference in this world.